Hello and welcome to the deep dive for the academic and research route of the Global Talent Visa. We're going to talk about promised talent, subroutes, endorsing bodies, and document pack as well. So let's start first with generally who is eligible for the science and academia route. It is usually researchers and scientists, typically someone with a PhD or with a research experience and with a track record of published papers, grants, or anything related to specifically doing the research. It's less so about the industry experience, so someone who working together with R&D departments or maybe policymakers, etc. And the same way, if let's say you are an engineer, a software engineer, unless you have also the PhD in research, it will be tricky. Just like any other route of the Global Talent Visa, you have also the definition between the promise and a talent, and there are slightly different requirements. Promise is someone who shows the potential to become a leader in their field, while talent is someone who's already established themselves as a research leader. Understand if you're promise or talent, we would count from the graduation date of your PhD. So if you have a PhD, if you have more than 3 or 5 years of experience after PhD, you are considered a talent. If you have less than 5 years of experience after completing PhD, you are considered a promise. Sometimes you can apply for the promise category while you haven't completed yet your PhD. Science route, like no other, has 4 endorsing bodies. Tech and art has 1 each. Science actually has 4 endorsing bodies. Why? Because there are different disciplines under the science route. So you can be, it could be social sciences, it could be engineering, and they're kind of divided so that the endorsing body has more expertise in your area to assess your talent. There are just 4 endorsing bodies: the Royal Academy of Engineering, the Royal Society, British Academy, and UKRI. First thing what we're going to do today is to help you figure out if your discipline is eligible. Home Office publishes a list of all the disciplines that are covered by the science route, and it is really important for you to find your discipline there. Sometimes the discipline can be in between somewhere, so you just need to search through the list and see where you can match closest to your field. Why is it important? Well, it will determine, first of all, if your discipline is not there, you cannot apply. If the discipline somewhere in between and you're choosing which one is the closest, the one you choose in the end will determine, for example, the referees field as well. So you have to match it all to the discipline that you actually chose. So let's look at the discipline list. I'm going to leave the list also. And you see they divided between the endorsing bodies. So each endorsing body basically has their own disciplines. I would suggest using a search function on your computer with F and, for example, looking at pharmaceuticals. So I just had a client call, and the lady, she was part of pharmacology, non-clinical. You can see there are multiple parts. So, for example, if you're doing clinical research, you can apply through pharmacology here. And let's see which endorsing body that is. That is the Royal Society. You can also be here in chemical and process, which is Royal Academy of Engineering. So search function. Another example, I had a person who had PhD in marketing, and if you put marketing, nothing comes up here, but a lot of her work is related to actually business studies. There's 2 options for her: economic and economic history, or there is management and business studies. And in fact, a lot of her research and her referees come from business studies and management and studies. She picked this direction. Just make sure you understand that this is the list and nothing can be outside of this list unless you are part of UKRI grant, but we will talk about it in more detail. So find yourself there. Let's look at the routes that are possible for the science endorsement.